Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. It is great to be with you here in Surfside, California, as I'm walking down, getting ready for the MB. It's a beautiful morning. Lots of birds picking in the surf again. That is a very good sign. And some excellent yellowtail action. We'll tell you about that. Limits a nice big yellowtail. Also, some great bluefin tuna action as that is continuing. And I'm talking big fish and great weather forecast. So that's all settling in and looking good. We also have had some pretty good fishing at Catalina Island, and we'll cover the surf and so much more. Yeah, it's almost time for the MB. Get ready, everybody. Here we go.
Check out this unusual creature that these anglers found near Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. It is an oarfish, and they are rarely seen on the ocean surface. Only when they are dying, sick, or disoriented will they surface from the depths of the sea. You can easily see how ancient mariners may have called this a sea serpent. They are docile, harmless creatures, but definitely have an otherworldly look to them. They are also called earthquake fish or doomsday fish because some parts of the world, especially Japan, think that a sighting of an oarfish portends something bad to come. The scientific evidence shows no correlation between doomsday events, earthquakes, or any other disasters and sightings of oarfish. What a magnificent creature. So happy I could share it with you. Clark was on board the Searcher last night, and he said it was quality over quantity. They ended up with 16 bluefin tuna, but one of those monsters went 220 pounds. When you see 3 gaffs in the stern, you know it's going to be a really big fish.
Whoa! Watch out!
While it's true that not all the bluefin tuna are giants out of San Diego right now, you need to gear up 4 big ones in case you hook one. Good luck, to join us on a reverse 2.5-day trip on board the beautiful Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing, departing June the 11th at 10 a.m. Wow, does that give us incredible range? And returning 7 p.m. on June the 13th. This is going to be a great fish. It's got all kinds of possibilities, from bluefin tuna to white sea bass to halibut and so much more. Friedman Adventures Charters puts you in the fish. Make sure you text us today so you can get on a trip, and you just might catch the fish of your dreams. Friedman Adventures Charter, 657-227-6459.
What a fish! Yeah!
Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is a gorgeous morning. Just a little bit of a breeze with the ocean. Looks beautiful, and the weather forecast is for very nice seas in the bluefin tuna area and everywhere else. It's looking fantastic, and that is half the battle. Well, we have got so much to talk to you about on the MB. Some great fishing on the long range scene for the Independence out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. Big bluefin tuna dominating the Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing. Had a nice hit the other day, and several other boats with fish over 100 pounds. It's really coming together with a good weather forecast. That's looking good. And our friend Jolene Thompson on her very own charter limits a big fat yellowtail. That looked good. Catalina Island is looking much better. San Clemente Island. Springtime is finally starting to get there, and things are looking great in the Channel Islands, where there is just as good a rockfish bite as anyone could possibly imagine. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? And thanks so much for taking time out of your busy Monday to spend some time with us here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Hit that like button, share these videos with a friend, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, tick the bell, you'll be notified when there's new content. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So much to get into with you. I want to remind you all about Ventura Sport Fishing. The Island Spirit is one fantastic ride. What a trip we had on board the Island Spirit with giant cod for everybody all the way around. It's fantastic up there. 805-676-34. What happened to my voice again? 3474. You can't beat it. Really fantastic stuff. All right, let's jump into it, and we'll go south of the border first of all and check out the Independence. They've got great yellowfin tuna fishing along with great yellowtail fishing. They had 2 to 6 fish going all day long yesterday. Really excellent fishing for the Independence. They are currently on an 8-day trip and just enjoying some great weather and some great fishing. Today, they've already started fishing, and they're looking for the trophy size yellows and also the big yellowfin tuna. We'll see if they can come up with that. Last time they had those yellowtails, several of them up over 55 pounds. That is one heck of a big forky. Great fishing on the Independence on their 8-day trip. Hopefully that is going to continue. We'll take a look in the Ensenada area, and 70 miles down below the border, all our friends in Mexico, the pangueros and hard-working men and women of Mexico are out fishing and doing a great job down there. There's still a pretty good smattering of bluefin tuna. Several of the pangueros down there have been taking bluefin tuna. Most of that fish is like 20, 30-pound fish, but they get them up over 100. Also, trolled Mad Mac throwing like a Daiwa Sakana type lure, like a 120-gram lure on a foamer of fish. Really effective way to get a bite. Now, in addition to that, there are occasional yellowtail being taken. There's also some really good fishing on that big bonita, and we continue to see excellent rock fishing with lings and reds, blackfin sword fishing, exhibiting a lot of that here in recent days, so you can hardly beat that. And man, they always seem to put together a nice little feast, whether it's like a little fish and chips thing or fish tacos or some ceviche or some sashimi. Really great stuff south of the border, and that bite is continuing for our friends down there in Ensenada. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna. The Apollo out of 22nd Street landing at 19. Nice fat bluefin tuna, really nice hit for them here on our recent trip. Of course, we'll be out with them from June 11th to June 13th. We leave at 10 a.m. Plan that thing just perfectly for a reverse 2.5-day trip. That puts us anywhere we need to be that very first night and the second night. Wow, that's going to be a great trip. 2 spots available on that one if you want to join us. 19 bluefin on board the Apollo. Also, the Highliner was out of San Diego fishing that bluefin tuna. A lot of it down around Ensenada area right now. They had an excellent bite with 44 bluefin tuna, but a dozen of those fish exceeded 100 pounds. There's a lot of big fish running around down in that neck of the woods. The Pacific Dawn, Lori Heath was out, had some nice big bluefin tuna on the Dawn. The Intrepid last night, lots of fish up over the 100-pound mark, with one that went 204 pounds. I don't know how you can beat that. Excalibur on a 2.5-day trip return with 42 bluefin, 40 to 150 pound fish. That is what I call some really marvelous fishing. The daytime bite is almost non-existent. You do catch a few from time to time. You want to fish 40 pound on the fly line. That has been the best way to make it happen, or 80 pound on the sinker rig. And then heavy when you're throwing like those Daiwa Sakanas or fishing some kind of iron. Of course, the night bite has been the right time to get on that fish. And of course, you are fishing anywhere from, some nights it's that smaller profile jig, like a 250-gram jig. But other nights when you have wind and weather, you're going to be fishing 350 to 500-gram jigs. So bring a variety, and you can adjust according to the weather and the depth that the fish are at. And again, staying in touch with your crew is so very important. And also, staying up at night is really important. That's hard to do, especially if you start out with like a 4-hour driving around and not stopping. Man, you're tired and you want to get some sleep, and you're just driving around and you go to sleep and the guy pulls back and you don't hear it, and everybody's bit out there on deck. So get some sleep in the daytime would be my recommendation, and get ready to stay up at night, because that's the time to do it. 200-pound leader material and 100 to 130-pound spectra is what you'll need to take on these really trophy-sized bluefin tuna that, as we move through the moon phase, are on the bite and biting pretty good. And now the weather, it was up on us yesterday, seems to be coming down. I think it's going to be a much nicer night tonight, so it should get really good. Now, there's also been some other species taken. We talked about our dear friend Jolene Thompson, and Jolene pulled a rabbit out of the hat. She's got a 2-day charter going on right now, and nice fishing on the Pacific Voyagers. They had limits of big quality yellowtail. Nice hit on the PV. Really great fishing. Just check those fish out. Those are gorgeous forkies, and I'm so happy for our dear friend and family, Friedman Adventure family member, Jolene Thompson. She is an awesome human being, and it's so good to see those big yellows. Now, I said that the daytime bite is non-existent. That's unfair. There are some daytime fish starting to be taken, and some of the full-day boats out of San Diego are starting to get in on that stuff. In fact, the Liberty yesterday had 7 daytime bluefin tuna. They leave in the morning, come back that very same evening, along with some big bonita. We also saw the San Diego. They had a couple of bluefin tuna over on the Mission Bell. They had a 65-pound bluefin tuna mixed with that bonita that is offshore of San Diego. So slowly but surely, we're starting to get there. It's not non-existent, but it is very touchy during the daytime. It's hard to get a bite on those bluefin, but it's showing some signs of life, especially on that Liberty score. And I went through the tackle a moment ago, but let me reiterate again. When you walk on one of these full-day boats out of San Diego, you need the exact same gear that you take on a 3-day trip, because there are a lot of big fish around. So 40-pound fly line, 80-pound on the sinker rig, and 100 to 130-pound, just in case you run into some really big fish. And I think you're going to be in really good shape. So really good to see it. Tax problems, you got to go to our guy, Tim Marquez, Friedman Adventure family member. Tim will take care of all of that and more for you. Give Tim a call today at heating and or air conditioning needs. You want to go to our friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John's a great guy. He'll take care of everything for you. Give John a call today. All right, so some really good signal on the bluefin tuna. We are getting really excited about our reverse 2.5-day trip on board the beautiful Apollo, limited to only 21 anglers. And of course, myself and Mackie will be there to chronicle the entire adventure. We'll be shooting video the entire time, so that will be really great stuff. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the island situation, the Coronado Islands. A few yellows out there, starting to improve again. We're starting to see more and more yellows. There's been some good private boater catches out there recently. Some pongas out of Popotla, which is just down below Rosarito, have been on that fish and catching a few also, guys that I've been talking to down there. So that's good. There's plenty of rockfish to back it up, and a few more barracuda and some bonita also being taken. So the Coronado Islands looking pretty good. At San Clemente Island, the Amigo had 3 yellowtail on a recent 1.5-day trip. The Thunderbird had 19 yellowtail, and a lot of that fish was big, great, beautiful fish. There's a smattering of halibut going on there, a little bit better on the calico bass, nothing wide open, but starting to kind of improve with the springtime conditions right now. So that is good news. And as I mentioned, great rockfish to help fill in. Catalina Island is also showing some really significant signs of life as the water warms up and it is acting like spring. We're seeing yellows there. We're seeing calico bass, bonita, and rockfish. So things are coming together slowly but surely. The new San Mateo was at Catalina Island yesterday out of Dana Wharf sport fishing. They had a little bit of calico bass, yellowtail, 1 yellow, and fished with the good bite on the rock cod. The Pursuit had 7 halibut, a white sea bass, and also they had some good rock fishing going on for them. Not bad at all. So slowly but surely, it seems like we're starting to head in the right direction. And hopefully that's going to continue. I love what we are seeing at Catalina Island. Freelance seeing a lot of fish over there. Several other boats also starting to catch yellowtail, and it is coming to life over there at Catalina Island. Do not forget about the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. They fish Catalina Island on a regular basis, and we're going to have a June 24th special trip with them as we're going to head off to somewhere, maybe even Santa Barbara Island. Depends on where the bite is best. But we'll be leaving at 5 in the morning and returning at 7:30 in the evening. That's going to be a great trip. But the El Patron has trips all week long, and this coming weekend for you, you can book by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. So make sure you do that here today. Continuing with our islands at Santa Barbara Island, a little bit of sea bass and halibut. Pride had a nice halibut trip here recently with 25 halibut up there in the Channel Islands. Frank Alvarez was on board the Endeavor out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing. Tremendous rock fishing up there. You know, I've been saying it for a long time, and I'll continue saying it. They are seeing a lot and a lot and a lot of white sea bass up there, but it has yet to take off. One of these days, that's going to bite. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more squid in there. It's a lack of squid. We started to make some significant amounts of squid here at Catalina Island here the last week or so. So that's a good sign. We need that in the Channel Islands, and all that sea bass will hopefully get on the bite. We're praying for that. Great rock fishing for the local boats up there in the Channel Islands. We mentioned the Californian. They've been doing great out of Ventura sport fishing. Also, tremendous fishing for the California. And you know how great we did. If you haven't watched Land of the Giants, where we went on the Island Spirit the other day and caught giant cod all day long, it was fabulous. As good as it could possibly get. Those were lucky anglers on board that trip. It was a great one with all kinds of giant reds and a boccaccio that went 13.5 pounds. Ventura sport fishing, 805 676 3474. Hard to beat. Ventura sport fishing. Customer service and the fishing, absolutely outstanding. So good stuff going on. All right, so you've got the situation on the islands. Let's talk local fishing. A lot of rockfish, whitefish, sculpin, that kind of stuff going on from the border all the way up to Ventura. I'm talking half-day boats like the Monte Carlo out of 22nd Street Landing, the city of Long Beach. You know, I'm not even going to start mentioning because most of the boats are experiencing that kind of fishing. However, there's also some other stuff going on. And we turn to our good friend Israel de la Cruz, who was on board the new Seaforth and had outstanding calico bass fishing. Way to go, Israel. So happy to see you doing that, catching those bass, fishing that light line, changing that bait regularly. There's some trophy and sardine for bait in San Diego right now. So that is all good stuff. Brandon Landberg with 75 local bass here recently. Last night on a skiff, he just put the wood to him. That's a good sign of springtime starting to happen. Mostly rockfish up and down the coast on the local half-day and three-quarter-day boats, but also some pretty good twilight fishing out of Marina del Rey on the New Del Mar. Things are definitely headed in the right direction, and we love that. Hopefully it's going to continue to bite. In the surf, we've seen some good barred perch fishing. Kayla Lou was fishing a beach here recently. She is one heck of an outstanding surf angler, and she had a nice barred perch. She's looking for halibut, however, and there's a lot of flatties around right now, but they're sometimes hard to come by. Hopefully that's going to bite. Good fishing with a little chrome crocodile sometimes on the halibut. Most anglers prefer the Lucky Craft type lures, but you can also fish bait. And if you can lay your hands on some live bait somehow and fish the surf, you have a very good chance of pulling some halibut out of there. How about a big spot fin croaker for our friend Fish? 28 1/4 inches, beautiful spot fin. I've been telling you there's good spot fin fishing going on just right down here on Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway. That's a great spot right now, fishing worms. Go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, California, on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. There is everything your little heart desires down there in terms of tackle and bait and so much more, including a monthly surf fishing derby that is absolutely free for you to enter. So really great stuff going on. Excellent, excellent place to stop by before you come and fish the surf. That water still looks a little off color. We've had a red tide here, but not too bad. It looks like it's cleaned up significantly, and the fish have been biting, so what the heck can I tell you? Some really excellent fishing going on. By the way, Bella Berrigan and her dad, Eddie, they were on board with us the other day on board the Island Spirit, and Bella was great. I mean, she's going to make a great YouTuber someday, very, very soon. But anyway, check out Bella and her dad. They made Eddie's famous fish tacos. They have ceviche, aguachiles. They have all kinds of delectables that they made from our Island Spirit trip. Way to go, Bella and Eddie. Once again, blessed to have you both in my life as friends. It's great stuff indeed. Don't forget to order. Speaking of Bella, there she is. Some merch from the Friedman Adventures store. You can get hats and shirts right now. Please make sure you get on board with Friedman Adventures. It's a great way to support the channel by getting a hat and a shirt or a shirt or several hats and shirts. It would warm my heart if you were able to do that. Go to www.embroiderycreations.net and order your Friedman Adventures merch here today. Hey, yesterday we had a delightful evening down at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Chuck Zimmer, the president, and everybody who was there. We were there for the award ceremony, and it was fantastic. Calico Chris Rink, he took a couple of the categories, and Halibut Man Mitchell, same thing. Really great stuff. Javier won the halibut portion of the ceremonies, and just a great time with great food and really great people. I thoroughly enjoyed it and can't wait to do it again. By the way, this weekend, I believe June the 8th, I'm going to post up the info right there for you. June the 8th, they have a hunter safety course going on at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. If you've ever thought about doing that, this would be a great time. June the 8th, they're going to have that. It's $10, by the way. You should register online. The info is on the sheet that I'm showing you. However, you can show up and pay $10. It includes food. It includes lunch, $10. You get the course and you get fed. I don't know how the heck you can beat that. So good stuff going on. No question about it. All right, my friends, stay in touch with all the latest right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Tonight, Tackle Shop Confessions with my good friend Sam De La Torre, live at 6 p.m. Sam and I have got a lot to talk about, and we'll take your questions also this evening. It should be another great TSC tonight, live at 6 p.m. In the meantime, have a great Monday. Have a great start to your week. And I hope to see you really, really soon.